Hey guys, and welcome to the video. So today I'm going to be going over 8 reasons why Slimming World doesn't work at Christmas. So the Slimming World diet is very popular and a lot of people struggle around the Christmas period. So that's what I want to discuss today. And before I get into the video, I have something for you. So I produced a webinar where I go over the 3 steps to solving emotional eating. So a lot of people struggle with emotional eating and find it difficult to get the weight off because of that. So if you would like to solve your emotional eating and learn more about that, I have put the link in the description below. But for now, let's get into the video. So reason number 1 is the perfectionism mindset. So a lot of people believe that to get results from their diet, they need to be perfect. Everything needs to be in alignment and they need to do everything perfectly. And some of this comes from previously failing on their diet and telling themselves, oh, this time I'm going to be even more on it and even more precise. And some of it just comes from the black and white mindset. So what we call the all or nothing mindset of I'm either doing the diet totally on it, totally on it, or the opposite of off it, and there's nothing in between. And the problem with this is, of course, there is nothing in between. And so when you can be perfect, you are perfect. And when you can't, you don't do anything. And how often is your day perfect? How often does your day go as planned? So as soon as something comes up and you're not able to follow the diet perfectly, is a big swing to off the diet, on the diet to off the diet. So what happens if you forget your lunch or someone offers you something or you have a piece of cake in the office or somewhere and you don't know how many calories in it. And so you feel you've ruined the diet and so you think, oh, I haven't been perfect today. And so you say to yourself, I'll just start again tomorrow or start again on Monday. And so there's big swings of totally on the diet to totally off the diet. Now with Christmas, you know there's going to be a lot of food and a lot of drink as well. And quite often it's very easy to tell yourself that, oh, I'm not going to be perfect, I can't follow the diet, I don't even know how to follow the diet during Christmas, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to totally enjoy myself and I'll start again in the new year. And of course, this gives you permission to eat everything you want. And even more so because you think, oh, I'm going to be going on a diet in New Year, so I may as well make the most of it. But there's several things wrong with this. Of course, you can probably predict them. First of all, if you are to start your diet in the new year in a worse position, then it's not going to be a great start, is it? It's like saying, I want to save up for a house and I'm just going to spend all my money first. So I have 0 money in my bank account to start with. Similar with a diet. If you put on loads of weight over Christmas because you want to make the most of it before you start in January, then the first part of your diet is just getting back to where you were before. And the other problem is that this is always going to happen. So there's always going to be things that come up where you feel, I can't follow the diet, so I'm just going to have the period off the diet, whether it's Christmas, a party, going to a wedding, Easter, going on holiday, things like that. And it's these things you need to learn to navigate how to think around food to be successful on your diet. So reason number 2 that Slimming World doesn't work at Christmas is willpower. So people often misunderstand what willpower is and they feel that they need to exercise willpower to lose weight. So willpower is a form of focus and applying yourself, and it's best used in short bursts, so for learning or for doing some work, and then you have some rest and some downtime afterwards. Now, when you're trying to stop doing something with willpower, you can't have this rest and you can't have this downtime, because as soon as you do that, then you do that thing you don't want to do. So for example, I don't want to eat chocolate, I'm going to cut out chocolate. As soon as you have that little rest from the willpower, then you end up doing it. So you feel that you need to have that willpower engaged 100% of the time. But it's not designed for this, and willpower will never work because there's always going to come a time when your willpower runs out. That's completely normal. There's nothing wrong with you if your willpower runs out. It's not designed for that. And the other problem with willpower is it actually makes emotional and binge eating worse. So I've explained this in more detail in other videos, but the way that your unconscious mind works is that it doesn't process negative instructions. So if I were to say to you, don't think of a pink elephant, what comes into your mind? A pink elephant. So it doesn't process the negative part of that sentence. It only processes what you've told it. So when I say don't think about chocolate, for example, what comes into your mind? Chocolate. So everything you try and not think about, it has to come into your mind. That's the way your unconscious mind works. Now, when you're using your willpower and constantly saying to yourself, oh, I'm not going to eat chocolate, I'm not going to eat chocolate, I'm going to resist the chocolate, you're constantly thinking about chocolate. And this is the way our mind works to learn something. So if we're constantly thinking about something, then when we come to actually do it, as in when the willpower runs out, and maybe you say to yourself, I've been good, so I'll have a little bit of chocolate, or maybe the willpower does completely run out and you just have a craving for chocolate, you have some, and then what have you been doing the whole time? You have practiced thinking about chocolate. So your mind is really good at thinking about chocolate. So you end up binging and emotional eating. And then you feel bad because you feel that your willpower has failed and you feel that you failed yourself. So there's this big paradox and loop of feelings. And then how do you solve your feelings? Again, it comes back into emotional eating. So it's really important not to be using willpower on your diet, especially with Slimming World. So reason number 3 that Slimming World doesn't work at Christmas is that it doesn't teach you how to enjoy yourself while trying to lose weight and still feel good in the process that you are following through. So, like I said before, there's this black and white mindset, all or nothing mindset. If either you're on the diet or off the diet, and there's no in between. And this doesn't allow for unpredictability. And Christmas is very unpredictable. You go places, people offer you things, you have a lot of choices to make. So it doesn't teach you how to make choices in the moment. It doesn't teach you how to make decisions around food. And this is a problem because it's very easy to succumb to peer pressure or just the desire in the moment to have that chocolate or the cake or whatever it is you're being offered. And so you often go with it and maybe enjoy it, but then feel bad because, oh, I've broken my diet, I've gone off the diet. And then this all or nothing mindset comes in of, oh, I've had something I shouldn't have had, so I'm off the diet today and may as well just start again tomorrow. Or this is too difficult, so I'll just start again, when Christmas is over. So reason number 4 is stress. And a lot of people don't realize that you create your own stress. So the way you think, the way you process things, the way you apply meaning to things in your brain, that's what creates the stress around things. So when you are worrying about food, thinking about food, and worrying about what will happen if I go off plan, or if someone gives me something, or if I eat something that I shouldn't have eaten, or if, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that, I've eaten that, and I feel guilty now, and all this stress and emotion created by the thoughts and decisions around food. Again, like I mentioned before, how do you deal with stress? How do you deal with negative emotions? Probably you have learned to use food as a way to relieve that stress. And so it gives you cravings to relieve the stress. So the point with this is quite often you've created the stress around food in your mind, and then you need to relieve it. And Slimming World doesn't give you a solution to be able to deal with this. So getting those cravings, you don't have a way to deal with them other than have the food, which then you feel bad because you've had the food, the chocolate, the cake, or whatever it is you've eaten, that makes you feel like you've gone off your diet. Reason number 5 is not having a system to plan beforehand and often being swayed in the moment. So sitting down to eat and deciding while you're eating how much you will have, and not knowing how to make decisions on what's appropriate to eat and how much to eat based on your goal and what you want to achieve for yourself. And this is, again, something that Slimming World doesn't teach. So you sit down to have your Christmas meal or you go somewhere and you don't know what's going to happen. It's unpredictable, and you end up being, like I said, swayed in the moment, making decisions in the moment, which can often be influenced by your emotions then, or even if you're drinking alcohol, it lowers your inhibitions. So you could end up making bad choices and then feel guilty because you didn't follow through with what you really thought you should have done. And so again, it goes down to rabbit hole of, oh, I feel guilty now, and some of the things you then do could make the diet worse going forward. The next reason that Slimming World doesn't work at Christmas is just not teaching you to build non-negotiables for yourself. So non-negotiables are things that you tell yourself, I will do this no matter what in my day. So every day I will do these things no matter what. And these are things you set for yourself based on your goal and what you have available to yourself. But it could be things like, I will include in each meal a portion of protein. I will do every day a minimum number of steps. I will do every week this amount of preparation, or I will make sure I have these certain things in my house. I will make sure I do a certain number of exercise sessions per week. And so it's these non-negotiables that you never break, and you do whatever it takes to do them because they're so important to you. And these are habits of like successful people. So it's not just thinking, oh, shall I do it today? It's, yes, these are my non-negotiables. I do these no matter what. And this links into number 7, not knowing how to live in alignment with your values. So first of all, not knowing your values, so knowing your values and being clear of them, but then how you live each day and how you show up as the person you want to show up as. Are you showing up as that person? You have values for yourself. Are you doing those things? Are you following through? Or are you letting the day and your emotions sway you and think, oh, I'm tired today and I'll just leave it to tomorrow. And once you do that once, just like with things like drugs, once you step over the boundary, it's easier to then do it again. So knowing your values and knowing how to live in alignment with your values and follow through, and not give in to things like cravings, not give in to things like tiredness, knowing your goal and thinking, yeah, no matter what, I want to get to that goal and I'm going to be the person I want to be and have the behaviors and do the things that I know will get me to that goal. And again, this is something that Slimming World doesn't teach, and it's quite simple once you do it, and the exercises around it are quite simple, but a lot of people miss this step out, and it's so important. And the final reason that Slimming World doesn't work at Christmas is not knowing what you want, right? So most people know what they don't want. They don't want to be overweight. They don't want to have low confidence. They don't want to be in this situation anymore. I don't like my life. I don't like being like this. I'm depressed, all these things. And they want to get away from that. And that's great. Knowing what you don't want is great. However, you also need to know what you do want. And most people don't have a clear enough view of what they do want. Just wanting it to be less heavy and weigh less is not enough, because it's a very weak view and it doesn't give you the motivation to pursue that. So let me explain that another way. So if you're driven by what you don't want, that's basically what we call a push. It pushes you to make a change. It comes from your emotional pain. And so let's use an analogy. So emotional pain drives everything we do. And so, for example, when you touch something hot, what makes you move away? So let's say you're in the kitchen and you go over to a pan and you touch the pan and it's super hot. It makes you move away. And then what do? You've moved away and the pain is gone. And then you carry on with the day, you do something else. And so what that means is it doesn't drive you to take further action, just having a pain. You haven't done anything else about that pain because the pain has gone away. The same with weight loss. So if you don't know what you want, as soon as you feel a little bit better about yourself with your weight loss, so maybe you lose a few pounds, or you're really enjoying Christmas, or even you've got rid of the emotional pain by wearing baggier clothes, hiding all the mirrors, you feel better about yourself temporarily. And it doesn't give you that drive to make a change because the drive isn't there anymore. You've either hidden it by wearing baggy clothes or hiding the mirrors, things like that, or you're enjoying yourself, you're trying to use other ways to take away the pain, alcohol and food, temporarily. And so you feel temporarily better because you're kind of numb to the problem. And this doesn't help. You need to know what you want. You need to know what your goal is. You need to know how your life will be in every single way, vivid and like creating a powerful image in your mind of how you want your life to be, what you want to achieve, what you want to do. Because this is what gives you the drive when that pain isn't there, actually having a direction to go in. Because you can get away from the situation you don't want in various ways, like I alluded to. So if you don't feel very good, because you are overweight, you can change those feelings in different ways. You can buy yourself something, you can drink alcohol, you can even take drugs. That makes you feel better, right? But it's not the direction you actually want to go in. You want to go in the direction of losing weight and gaining confidence and feeling better about yourself. So knowing what that is and being able to aim for it is very, very important. And so it's normal not to naturally think about this because you are living with your emotional pain, you're living with the situation, so you can feel that in the moment. But when you actually decide what you want, you actually have to sit down and think, yeah, how will my life be? What am I not doing now that I want to be doing? How do I want my life to be? And so, again, it comes down to preparation. And Slimming World just doesn't give you this preparation. So it's the foundations that are missed out. So important, but so often missed out. So that's it, 8 reasons why Slimming World doesn't work at Christmas. And the solution, like I just talked about, is the foundations. The thing that isn't the food side. So food is an important part of weight loss, but it's not the thing that you need to solve the most. The thing you need to solve the most is emotional fitness. So emotional fitness is how to think and make decisions around food that help you live in alignment with your values and help you work towards your goal. Ask yourself the question, do you know how to manage your emotions without using food as a relief? If you don't, then you need to work on your emotional fitness. If you don't know how to enforce your boundaries and make yourself feel positive and good without using external things like food or alcohol, even things like shopping, gambling, all the things that people use, then you are always going to have these cravings and you're always going to be swayed around by motivation and not able to live in alignment with those values. So this is so important, just to emphasize that Slimming World does not teach this. And this is why a lot of people fail. So it's not the food, it's the emotional fitness and how to think and make decisions around food. So if you've found this video helpful, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you are doing Slimming World and let me know if you are struggling with it. Let me know what you're going to do at Christmas with your Slimming World diet. So like if you found this useful and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.